Good morning, coming to you from my kitchen with my bedhead. We're still in chapter 11 talking about personality and how it gets established, and we've spent a good bit of time already talking about Freud and the psychoanalytic or psychodynamic perspective, but I did want to touch on three other theories that attempt to explain who we are. So your book talks about the trait theory, and a trait is a relatively consistent personality characteristic. You might be kind, you might be funny, you might be passionate, things like that. And they talk about different types of traits. So central traits are really at the core of who we are, but the secondary traits still describe us, but they may be less critical to who we are. Like to say that you're athletic or fashionable. Yeah, that may describe you, but it's not necessarily at the heart of who you are. And yes, I am cheating and looking at my book here so that I get things right. Also, within the trait theory, there's a well-known trait theory called the Big Five or the five-factor model, which claims that if you understand where we are on five particular traits, you have a pretty good grip on who the person is. So the five traits are openness to new experience. Do you like trying new things, or are you a little more reluctant? Conscientiousness. Are you hardworking, passionate, or a bit more lazy? You kind of procrastinate a bit. Extroversion. Are you outgoing, or are you more shy and introverted? Agreeableness. So are you kind of more kind, soft-hearted, maybe even a little naive at times? Or are you someone who is very suspicious and competitive and not really trusting of people? And then how neurotic or calm are you? Some people are very neurotic, very anxious. They get stressed easily. Others are more chill. So the claim is if you know where people are in those five traits, you understand them pretty well. It's the Big Five. Your book also talks a bit, also within the trait theory, they basically believe that who you are is mainly determined by biology, but they have a hard time understanding why it is you might be outgoing in certain situations, but very shy in others. The social cognitive perspective claims that who we are is a function of both how we interact with people in the world around us and our thought process. That's the cognitive aspect. And one of the key terms they talk about there is something called locus of control. And that's basically the sense of what do you believe the outcome is due to. If you have an internal locus of control, you believe that you are responsible for determining how things turn out. External locus of control means that you believe that the outcome is due more to chance, luck, and factors outside of your control. So those are, that's a little bit about the social cognitive perspective. Humanistic perspective we've touched on this semester. It believes that basically people are good and that we can achieve anything. That whole Maslow notion of self-actualization, be all that you can be, live up to your true potential, is a part of the humanistic perspective. And the claim is that in order to achieve all that you can, you need three things. First of all, you need to have an accurate self-concept. You have to know who you are really, what you're good at, what you're weaker in, and be honest with yourself. Second, it helps to have positive self-esteem. Basically, you like who you are. Maybe not that you're loving every aspect of who you are, but that you basically like the person that you are. And in order to achieve those things, the claim is that we need something called unconditional positive regard. That's the love and acceptance from one other person. They're going to be honest with us, but they're going to support us whether we succeed or fail. Now, sometimes we get people who are giving us unconditional negative regard. Basically, they believe that we'll never amount to much. Obviously, that can really hurt our self-esteem. Sometimes we get conditional positive regard. In other words, I only love you if you are like this or you do that. And those things can be really hurtful because we know that in order to achieve their love, we have to kind of be who they want us to be rather than really being true to ourselves. So I hope that helps you understand three of the other personality theories. In the next video, we're going to talk a bit about how we measure, how we determine personality.